Okay. Alright. What's up, guys? I'm back. Okay, so Fiona is going to be streaming off of... Yeah, okay. So this needs muted. Which means then on Twitch, I need to... Wait, okay. Oh, okay, I see. Okay. So then on Twitch, I need to go to YouTube here, and then 2021 Game Awards. Okay. You guys hear me? Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Let's see. Huh? Okay. No, it's not. Okay, so then on Streamlabs, OBS, I need to go here. Oh, okay. So then what do I need to... Oh, is it regular OBS I need to go into? No, that's not it. Okay, Streamlabs. I didn't see it. Okay. Make sure my brightness is up. Yeah, we're good. Oh, maybe it's this brightness up here. Maybe that brightness isn't all the way up. How do I turn the brightness, this brightness up? Is it this? Oh, that's not it. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this brightness on. I think it's this button. Okay. There we go. Okay. Download. Dismiss. Okay. Go to that. Okay. Surprised I didn't. That's weird. Because... Okay. Hold on. Looks like they renamed Streamlabs to Streamlabs Desktop. Oh gosh, I need a... Hold on a second, guys. Okay, go to YouTube. I need to fix my... Okay. YouTube Studio. So yeah, now we just have to wait for the live stream to start. So while I do that, I need to fix my YouTube, something on my YouTube stream real quick. Off of YouTube. But I am back in full throttle now. What? I am on Oops, not caps. Streaming on Twitch as well. And then pull up my Twitch chat link. Okay, so Twitch. Okay. Go to my account here. I just have some things to do while I wait for this to start. Okay, get that in, get my Twitch link, and then go to video details. Boom. Okay, we should be good now, right? I think, yeah. And then let me refresh the settings here. Make sure, there we go. Okay, bet we're good to go. Let me make sure it goes to the right Twitch account. Yeah, okay, we're good. Okay, so now what I need to do is just wait for Streamlabs to download again, because for some reason it doesn't want to. I don't know what's taking forever for this to start, but has it already started? Oh, what? Hold on, guys. Let me restart that real quick. You're gonna do a different person.
Compendium entry, a Sheikah Sensor Plus, a side quest, and a memory used together in a very specific way.
Rewind.
Action title, Dying Light makes heavy use of parkour
Yeah, we're just gonna
mechanics
do
to allow
this
for daring escapes that really
instead.
emphasize the danger of a swarm of zombies much better than a game where you can just blast your way through the entire horde. That doesn't mean you can't still deliver some pain to the zombies with a variety of weapons like hammers, bows, and shotguns, but the balance of fight or flight creates something
YouTube
we
real
just
quick.
don't see in many other open world zombie games. And it exemplifies survival better than many games that take a more traditional approach to the genre. How could any survival game list not include Minecraft? Not only is it one of the most influential and successful video games ever made, but it's also still damn good a decade after its launch. The procedurally generated world is filled, or can be filled, with plenty of unexpected areas, including veins of valuable materials and clusters of enemies. And it's up to you to decide how to protect yourself from the monsters and exploding creepers that threaten your survival. Of course, if you want a break, you can always go into creative mode and focus exclusively on building the structure of your dreams instead. When it first launched in 2016, No Man's Sky was a shell of a game. Most of its best systems weren't even created yet, and the prospect of exploring for the sake of exploring didn't exactly thrill many players. But Hello Games didn't give up, implementing base building, multiplayer, and a variety of other quality of life improvements to make No Man's Sky the ultimate space exploration game. Finding new wildlife, establishing your operations on a planet, and seeing what it has to offer, all while monitoring your life support systems, now feels satisfying and fulfilling. And continued updates have only made the game even better since then. It's one of gaming's biggest redemption stories, and the initial reception shouldn't turn you off from playing it.
I don't know
Escape from Tarkov is a much more complex game than you'd think, with some interesting twists of its own. In addition to realistic injuries, you must account for things like fractures,
so it doesn't start for another hour, so we're just gonna chill and watch some other,
loot because
watch
death
the
also
pre-game,
means dropping
the pre-stream thingy, whatever you want to call it.
It's not exactly an MMO, but with a player-driven economy for looted items, the risk and reward dynamic in Escape from Tarkov adds an extra layer of tension.
Yo, thanks for the first one like, whoever's here on the stream, very much appreciated. We have an hour and 58 minutes, less than an hour.
Of course, that can also happen to your enemy.
An hour and a half to 2 hours before it starts.
Rust has had an interesting journey. In early development, it seemed too eager to imitate other survival games, even including zombies at one point. But it gradually established its own identity as a straightforward and addictive survival game. With an island full of wildlife and other players, the latter of whom can either help or hurt you, you need to be always on your toes. And finding allies you are comfortable with can be the difference between life and death. Thanks to a relatively recent popularity surge caused by streamers, the game has gotten a second wind. And there's even a separate console edition if you don't have a
computer, so I can stream
Getting mauled to death by land creatures
so
is
actually,
scary
while I
enough,
do
but there
that,
is little more terrifying than dying from the water. In Subnautica, you have no choice but to venture into the murky depths of a watery planet in order to survive.
Turn on Do Not
And
Disturb,
ironically,
right?
you still need to find water to
not
drink
it. Do not
because
disturb.
salt water will only kill you faster.
Okay,
You'll have a
perfect.
chance to upgrade your vessel's hull in order to protect it from the increasing
this
pressure
is
as you venture deeper into
19
the
best
abyss,
survival games
and
you
you
should
can
play
even
right now,
establish
okay.
bases and build other vehicles to assist you in your research and exploration. This
What
isn't
the-
a simple survive
okay.
game, however, with a mystery to uncover at its core, so those who aren't into the basic don't die gameplay loop may
OBS.
still
Okay.
enjoy Subnautica. A surprise hit on Steam that
Okay, so
managed to
Streamlabs
outperform
desktop
some of the
is-
biggest PC
I needed to
games,
turn on
Valheim
my
scratches the survival
Do
game
Not
itch
Disturb on my
without being
phone.
locked into some of the
Okay, now
genre's
we got
core elements.
Streamlabs up.
The fantasy game puts you in a procedurally generated world where you can work
let's back here,
cooperatively
'cause-
with up to 9 other players,
Oh,
and
no,
you can
I'm
build
fine
a
with
house
that.
and
Right
even
there.
an entire settlement alongside smaller items like weapons, armor, food, and,
Okay.
seeing as this is a
Stream's
Norse
starting
world,
soon.
mead. The combat is also a little bit more advanced than
Okay.
similar survival games, with mechanics for dodging and blocking attacks.
think this is the
And
right
you can
one,
also
eh?
venture out into the sea and test your skills as the captain of a vessel.
I don't think
It's only
this is
$20,
right.
and with the Hearth and Home
Streamlabs-
update
it's
adding
OBS.
even more
This
content
is
to the
just
game,
Streamlabs. I need
including new furniture and food
Streamlabs
items, it's a very
OBS
refreshing
thing.
take on survival.
I think,
Ark
right?
Survival Evolved
Yeah, start
certainly
recording,
emphasizes
start
the
streaming.
survival element of its name. In addition to the common survival game mechanics such as hunger
Oops,
and
hold on.
thirst systems, you must also contend with shifting weather conditions that can cause your health to deteriorate even faster, as well as both wildlife and other players. Sticking together can be the key to survival through the game's tribe system, and you can also tame and train dangerous dinosaurs, which can assist in hunting or even be
Okay,
used as
so-
mounts when you have to fend off
Where's the
attackers.
Streamlabs?
If you prefer, you can
OBS.
even rely on
it's
farming
Streamlabs,
produce
not
to survive without
OBS.
killing,
I need to
though
find
your
out.
enemies may not be quite as kind to you.
I think that's what I
Don't
need.
starve. Well, that title gets right to the point, doesn't it? A take on resource gathering and crafting that doesn't waste time with unnecessary preamble or extra fluff. Don't
not
Starve's
what I
mix of 2D and 3D art makes it
Go
unlike
live,
any other
maybe?
game on this list, and combined with its addictive gameplay loop and punishing difficulty, it will certainly test your ability to
Oh,
adapt
okay.
and overcome. With procedurally generated
what?
worlds,
Sorry,
you will never experience the same game twice in a row. And the standalone expansion, Don't Starve Together, lets you and your friends try and make it in the cold, unforgiving world
Multi-stream.
as a group.
What is
To
this?
survive, you must always be one step ahead of whatever it is that wants to kill you. In the case of the Flame in the Flood, that includes not just predators, but the elements as well. As you travel in a boat down a river and try to outpace impending rain, you'll come across towns that you can scavenge for
Different
supplies
platform,
to
what?
keep yourself alive during the journey. But this can lead to unintended encounters with the
sign
local
out.
wildlife. The Flame in the Flood's dark premise is contrasted by its gorgeous minimalist art style, as well as a beautiful Americana-driven soundtrack. Even the most morbid, difficult moments are still somewhat calming, at least up until you die and have to try again. A survival game that also combines elements of horror and cooperative open-world exploration. The Forest features a fish-out-of-water
you guys, I'm
setup
trying to
in
figure
which
out
you're
this
hunted by
real quick.
genetically mutated locals while trying to survive the wilderness. The choice for how you do this is up to you,
Oh, that's
ranging
what that
from
does.
creating a
Okay.
robust fortress or sneaking around to take out the attackers stealthily. Like other survival games, such as Minecraft, there is a day-night
Settings,
cycle,
there we go.
encouraging you to explore and scavenge while it's light,
Log out.
before retreating
Okay,
to the
general
safety
state.
of your shelter at
Yeah,
night.
log out.
With friends by your side, things can be a little less
Okay.
daunting, but you'll still need to find food
And
if
then
you
I
don't
need
want to
to
die by starvation. And that's just as terrifying as the enemies.
Connect, I think.
In the Long Dark, another
Go
game that
live,
sees the world
maybe.
plunged into constant winter, you must venture out, alone, searching for your companion after you're separated. The separate
Okay,
survival
well,
mode offers more freedom,
go
with
here.
surviving as long as possible being your only
Log
goal,
in.
and permadeath looming over every
Twitch.
decision you make. With every action you make, you spend calories that must be replenished with food, but the threat of the elements always balances out your need to go find more resources. Outward may look like a sword and sorcery power fantasy at first glance, but you actually play as a pretty pathetic little weakling. Even a disease can spell the end for you in Outward, alongside thirst, and no playthrough will ever be exactly the same.
What
The
am I
game also
streaming
makes sure you don't
What am I
manipulate its
doing?
systems by constantly auto-saving in a similar manner to an MMO, But with perseverance and some careful planning, you can become a hero. If you want, you can even join a friend, both in person or online, and attempt to not get killed by the most trivial of enemies together.
GameSpot, I think.
11-bit Studios' Frostpunk is a society survival game that sees a world plunged entirely into an endless winter. It's up to you to keep your civilization from death, managing resources and establishing laws that will prevent total chaos and anarchy while still maintaining your people's health and happiness. The decisions you make have unintended and permanent consequences, both good and bad. Should you rule smartly, you can even invest in advanced technologies, returning people to some degree of normalcy. You don't necessarily need some supernatural or science fiction threat in order for the apocalypse to feel terrifying. If you took Minecraft and turned it into a 2D game, it would look a whole lot like Terraria, though the focus is on more than just survival and building structures here. Venturing into the deep caverns of the randomly generated worlds you explore could lead to rare resources and materials to let you craft something truly amazing, or it might just make for a great anecdote about the dangerous areas you encountered instead.
Okay, I think we're good now.
Enjoy city building games, but wish you had more control over individual people and didn't have to deal with boring old Earth? Surviving Mars might be just what you're looking for then, as the game has you build up an early human colony on the titular planet, while also having to deal with the people who make up your civilization. Each one has its own AI, meaning you won't be able to make universal, sweeping decisions that have the same impact on everyone, and their problems can become your problems if you don't manage them efficiently. But it's more than just survival, as you can discover the hidden mysteries of Mars itself, some of which may not be pleasant.
Video games?
A survival game that should be right up the alley of any Prison Architect fans, RimWorld follows a small group of unwilling colonists who have crashed onto a new planet and must attempt to rebuild and thrive in their serendipitous situation.
Okay, confirming
they
go
aren't
live.
alone on the planet, with raiders and wildlife alike seeking their heads, but you can also tame your own beasts to do your bidding and set up defensive positions to blast anyone who comes close. Injuries and disease are tracked to specific body parts, and you can even get a prosthetic limb if need be. Combat isn't just based on stats. Instead, there is an actual cover system you can manipulate through your structure's placement and design.
Okay, wait.
One of the darkest games on this list because it sheds fantasy and sci-fi for the realistic horrors of war. This War of Mine puts you in control of the civilians caught in the middle of an armed conflict, unable to escape danger and merely hoping to survive by the time the battles have ended. You'll need to gather basic supplies to survive, but the risk of being caught in the crossfire can deter you from getting what you actually need, and the decisions you need to make aren't easy. Who is worth sacrificing for the good of the group? And can such a choice even be made? Fully customizable and with enough difficulty options for every kind of player, Starbound mixes sci-fi exploration and adventure with survival elements to create a charming and inspired take on the genre. There isn't a set end goal, though you can find your own victory by battling enemies or venturing out to take over other planets. On the hardcore difficulty setting, you'll need to eat to survive, and if you die, you're dead for good, while survival difficulty replaces this with an items drop on death feature for a little more flexibility. With mod support further letting you personalize the experience, Starbound is quite literally what you make of it.
I had to go get something.
So there you have it, 19 of the best survival games around. For more lists like this one, including the best open world games to play right now, make sure you're subscribed to GameSpot. Thanks for watching.
Live now, the Game Awards.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Console Crew / Generation Next, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be looking back on our first year with the Xbox Series X and S, and look at the year that was, celebrate, talk about things that Microsoft needs to do for the second year of its new console. To join me and help talk through it all.
Okay, so now I'm live on Twitch and YouTube.
PlayStation Pro Timo Hussein.
Absolutely
So
pitching a tent to be back, lads. They thought we were gone.
Go to my live chat.
And we're back.
Me too.
Is it not working?
Still a threat.
Let's kick off by talking about the actual consoles themselves. We'll go around the room. What does everyone have? Jordan, what do you have?
Xbox X, always X. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably the only guy at GameSpot who uses their Xbox every single day. But yeah, that's just me.
That's just me. Tam, what do you have?
Absolutely vibrating to tell you what I've got, lads. I've got a Xbox Series X and an Xbox Series S, which should tell you a lot about how I feel the Xbox performance has been for this generation so far. So nice, I bought it twice.
Have you taken your Xbox Series S out of the box yet?
No.
Okay. I have an Xbox Series X. So let's kind of like, I want to know how much you guys use it. So I use mine quite a lot. I still think I have more of a balance on when it comes to third-party stuff, especially. I kind of balance it out both ways. I've used my Series X absolutely as a Game Pass machine and kind of mopping up stuff over this last year more than anything. We'll talk about kind of game releases and stuff in a little bit, and I use it mostly as kind of I use it in my Netflix machine as well quite a lot, so I get a nice amount of use out of it. But I would say that it's way more balanced, I would say, than how I was going between Xbox and PlayStation last gen. Last gen was like PlayStation 4 for everything, and Xbox was on occasionally. So now I feel like I've got a good balance. Jordan, what do you do?
Pretty much every single day I'm turning on my Xbox. Like, I think the only days that I'm not turning on the Xbox are days where it's like, oh, it's my mom's birthday. I should go, like, do something with her instead of playing video games today.
I thought you were going to say, it's my mom's birthday. I'm going to play the PlayStation 5 today.
I'm so worried, like, total tangent, but I'm, like, so worried, like, Halo Infinite comes out on my birthday, and I know my family and friends are going to be like, yo, Jordan, it's your birthday, we should do something. I'll be like, I don't want to do anything with any of you. I want to stay home and play Halo. But yeah, like, I play the Xbox practically every day, which is very similar to my Xbox One habits. It's my PlayStation 5 and Switch are like for their first party or their console exclusives, and Xbox for practically everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I will say the Xbox 360 still stands as the most played Xbox console for me. However, I
can't see.
I don't think I play my Xbox as much as I play the PlayStation or
video capture
the PC,
device. How about that?
or Switch less so.
Outsource.
But certainly more than the Xbox One.
Device,
However,
FaceTime,
I feel like
okay.
I'm still engaging with the Xbox ecosystem. And I think the reason that I'm not playing the Xbox specifically is because those games are accessible in so many different ways now, which we'll come to later. I'm playing Xbox games a lot. I'm just not specifically playing them on the Xbox Series X or S console right now.
That's what Big Phil likes to hear.
Big Phil loves
all
that.
he wants.
Big Phil loves that. He's like somewhere over there. It's like tickling him, like his ASMR.
That's not the camera that I want. Oh my goodness.
He's engaged in the ecosystem. Well, that's a good enough segue, I think, to discuss kind of the surrounding bit. We'll talk about games and Game Pass, like I said, in a second. But
where is this
this first year, I feel, has been, just the fact that xCloud is open to everyone with a Game Pass sub has genuinely changed the way that I play games a lot, which is weird because we're here talking about first year with the Series X and S, and yet like this is a cloud thing that I was using. I was playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. I was like showing to my dad. I was like, oh, remember when we had a computer that wouldn't even run Worms? Well, I'm playing a AAA JRPG here on my phone.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
My console was hundreds of miles away, and I could still play those games back up, when I went to visit my parents and stuff. And so I'm just so pleasantly surprised. And like you said, it's like I'm interacting with the Xbox ecosystem in so many different ways than I didn't anticipate that I would.
Yeah, I think like Game Pass is a best-in-class service for game. Like, there's nothing. We talked about this plenty before it came out, before the Xbox came out, and what it is now. Like, it's just come leaps and bounds where it feels like, whether it's true or not, it feels like you're actively losing money if you're not subscribed to it, which is a wild place to be. Like, it is like, if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass subscription, what are you doing with your life? Like, that is, you're leaving money on the table. And the fact that you can not only
I have an idea.
pay to be in the service where you get a steady drip feed of good games, but also you can access them in so many specific different ways. And you can do that remotely on other platforms like the PC.